Hello and welcome to Front Foot Official. And today, as promised, we'll be bringing a lot of guests before the India versus England series. And today, it's a pleasure to invite Mr. Daz Cricket, all the way from England, Manchester. A very humble person, but don't go with his humble face. He's absolutely a genius when it comes to cricket. He's very talented, and he just knows the game pretty well, and it's not like he's an average expert. He may not have that kind of followers which a lot of journalists or cricketers may be having, but his game sense is absolutely great, and I have been following him since a long time. We have been fantastic mates, so I requested him, and he's here with just in few calls, you can say, not in calls, in messages. So it's absolute pleasure to welcome Daj, and I will be asking about his life and journey, but first let us welcome Daz. Welcome to the show, Daz. How are you, and how are you feeling coming to the show?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and yeah, I'm well. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the England v India series now, which I'm really excited
Okay.
for.
Okay, so before we talk about the, of course, important thing, the England versus India series, first tell us about your life, your journey. How did you how did you love this game, and have you played any professional or amateur cricket? And what kind of cricket do you like? I mean, which format? So tell us a bit about yourself, and then we can move on.
First of all, I used to play for a local cricket club where I used to live for about a year or two. I wasn't very good at it, so I didn't I didn't play it much. But I started to go to Yorkshire games in 2009, and I saw some really good players like Darren Lehman, and I saw Joe Root before anybody knew who he was, and it was just great to watch cricket.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just wonderful to watch cricket. My favourite formats are obviously I love Test cricket more than anything else. I like every format really. T20 is good. 50 overs I really like as well. So I don't hate any format. But if I had to choose one, definitely Test cricket.
Of course, of course. Test cricket is the best form of cricket, and Daz is absolutely spot on with that. Okay, moving on, Daz, please tell us, do you really follow Indian cricket? I mean, if not the IPL, but recently the India Sri Lanka series, or do you follow our domestic players, or you purely follow Indian international cricket?
I watched the Sri Lanka v India series, which was real quite entertaining. I know India had a lot of players missing, and Sri Lanka actually played quite well, which was good to see because we don't want to see Sri Lanka struggling forever, because it's bad for cricket. And I was really pleased for Asaranga doing really well, and
Yeah.
when I watch the IPL, and you see players like Paddy Carl and Samson, players like that, and it's just nice to see them playing for India, representing the national team, because they'll only get
Yes.
limited opportunities once the main team are in England.
Exactly. I asked you this question purely because currently there are two sides, that is India and England, who are producing the B string, you can say. Like Pakistan was completely demolished by the English players, by the England domestic players. So salute to them for that, because you can say they all were county players. I mean, we didn't know them, especially in India, but they came and they stuck to the challenge, and they played absolutely beautifully. So what do you have to say about that series? Were you surprised with England's win, or were you sure that these players, if given opportunity, they will do well?
England have so much quality in the county system that I even knew when all the players were had to go into isolation that we would give Pakistan a really good series. I never expected to win 3-0. I actually expected to lose the series, but play quite well. But the way the team played and the way Mahmood bowled, and it was just amazing to watch. And it's so promising for the future, knowing that if we've got players injured or players out, that we will do quite well. You know, even without them.
Absolutely. Um, Another question that comes to my mind, that Michael Vaughan once stated that it's pretty difficult to play the county cricket than international cricket. How true it is? Really, county cricket has got a lot of challenges, especially the pitches, especially the way the fielding setup is done, as you said, regarding slips. So, is it true county cricket has that pure value? Because we see that lot of Indian cricketers, not only India, lot of Asian cricketers go and play for Somerset, some play for Glamorgan, some play for Yorkshire. Recently, Hanuma Bihari and you can say Ravichandran Ashwin playing for Surrey. So what is the value of county? Because you are linked in county in some way. Because you go and watch county matches. I've talked to you before that. So
Yeah.
you basically know the county. Because let me tell you guys, county cricket is the foundation to play international cricket. If you are not good at county or in your domestic games, so you can't do well. And basically in England, county has a lot of value. So please tell us about that Michael Vaughan statement. And since you are linked to county, Yorkshire County, or currently you are in Manchester, so please tell
I think
about it.
I think the only one main issue is with the county cricket in England is that it doesn't produce spin because of the weather. It rains a lot here, and it's just not warm for long enough to have good spin. But I think it's a good challenge for players to come from abroad, like we have Kane Williamson and other players coming to play county, because it just amps the game so much playing in England, and it helps them get used to the conditions. Like Ashwin playing for Surrey and Bahari playing for Warwickshire, and Pujara's been here a few times. I think it just means a lot to them to just have that experience in England. And I think it'd be good for more players to come over and just gain that experience so that we can watch better games.
Yeah, very well said. Okay, moving on, I just want to ask that since England is doing very well in the white ball format, do you think there is a sign of concern in the test match cricket currently? What do you have to say regarding? Because you see that England is losing series away, and recently they lost against New Zealand. So, do you
Yeah,
think in test match cricket there is a concern? Yeah.
yeah, I think there is a concern. Since we've become really good at white ball, that players really are going to be patient in red ball, that they just play some loose shots and get out, and that they just want to rush the innings instead of being patient, like you need to be in a test match. And I think that's where England's issue is at the moment. And I think we don't have a good enough number three at the moment as well that can take us forward. The top of the order can win your test games if they play correctly, but England have struggled in that area for quite a while now, especially since Alistair Cook retired.
Exactly, exactly, absolutely. Okay, now tell me one thing, Dash. You have been watching cricket since a long time, to be honest, and
Yeah,
tell us that moment when England won the 2019 World Cup. Will you consider to be your greatest moment in cricket, or will you consider the Ashes to be the greatest? Maybe the 2005 Ashes, if I'm not wrong.
I think they're different. England had never won a World Cup before, so I think the World Cup is just the pinnacle for England. More people started following cricket in England after that and taking more notice. And you know, Ollie Morgan had a dream after the disaster in 2015 World Cup to win a World Cup, and we did it. And I think that's probably the best thing I've ever seen in cricket in England for me.
Okay. Um, there is lot of talk in the town that England is doing that rotation policy too much. Sometimes in test matches, sometimes in the one days, and also during these COVID times when there is lot of issues of isolation, or you can say the bio bubble. So, how
Yeah.
do you rate the policy of England? Are they doing the right thing, or are they doing the wrong thing? But because for me, when a player is in form, he shouldn't be rested that much. So, what's your take on it?
Uh, I think they really need it just because there's so many bubbles and people are away from their families for so long. It's a tricky one because in COVID times, players need a rest and stuff like that. take Johnny Bairstow, for example. He was away from October last year, and he didn't come home until May. And he was away for 7 or 8 months in bubbles. He never saw his family. He was never in England. He was just on a bus to the ground every day. And honestly, that just can't do a player's mental health any good or mindset. They need time away from the game. But
Yes.
I think the ECB are doing the right thing. But I don't think that will happen this summer because I don't think there's any bubbles in England now. The main issue is when the T20 World Cup and the Ashes and stuff like that, which is going to be a challenge.
Absolutely. So, do you think that might be the reason which everyone is talking? Of course, in India also, Ben Stokes is a very popular figure. Do you think that might be a reason, or do you think there are some personal issues with Ben Stokes why he has uh, taken this decision?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. He lost his father last year, and that must have really affected him badly. Like it would any of us, and it's quite hard for him. But living in bubbles again himself, I think it's just important for him to be with his family after all that he's been through. And if he wants to take a break from the game, nobody can blame him. But,
Okay.
he got called up to be the captain against Pakistan in the One Day Cup, in the One Day Internationals when he never expected to, and he did his job. But in the last 200 games what he played, he didn't look himself. He didn't look happy, and I just think you could tell that he
So,
needs some time away to refresh his mind so that he can come back to his best.
okay. Okay. How successful do you see the 100 in the near future?
It depends. I think it's been more successful for the women's game because more people are attending women's games in England and watching that on TV. For the men, I think they will need more international players over here to do that, like West Indians, Australians, Pakistanis, and stuff like that. So for the 100 to be truly successful, we need the best players in the world over here.
Absolutely. Okay. Now moving on to a very important thing. Why we have Daz here is the India versus England series. So
Yeah.
how do you see the series, and who do you think are going to be the MVPs of the series, and your predictions? What India have to do well? Of course, you won't say that. We won't be taking your ideas. Of course, you don't want that. And what England are going to do well? So, your thoughts on India England series?
I think India need to bat well. They need Kohli to perform. They need somebody to get 100 regularly. They need Pujara back in form. But I think the series won't come down to whoever bowls the better. Due to England's weak batting lineup and the weather around at the moment, I think that whoever bowls best will win the series. And England's top order, they're struggling at the moment. Like I said before, we don't have a number 3. Diddley and Burns are in decent form, but Root hasn't been in good form at home since 2018, which is a bit of a concern. We need Root to get back to his best. But for India, it's whether they can play the swing in England, which they've struggled for the past 14, 15 years since they won a year before. But Virat Kohli probably does need a big series now.
71st century, you all were waiting for that.
Yeah, I think in the end, my prediction is that England won't win 3-2, but it's also India's best ever chance to win a series in England now, especially after the win in Australia.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just tell me how will be the weather and how will be the pitches currently? Is it full time summer now, or do you still feel that it will be suiting England again with rain and cloudy conditions? Because I feel that it's summer now in England, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, summer has about 4 different weathers in England: rain, sun, everything. Yeah, so you never know what the weather's going to be like in England. Like for the last 2 weeks, it was 30 degrees and it was really beautiful, but now it's raining. But I think for the first test match, the weather won't be good from what I've seen. It won't be cloudy. So, James
So
Anderson
for
won't be up for it.
so for you, the weather will be good means it should be cloudy, but for me, weather will be good means it should be sunny, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess you live in India, so it's like 35, 40 degrees, but in England, we're lucky to get 20 degrees. So
Exactly. I feel England purely because they have a lot of swing bowling options, which India is lacking. So that might be the reason England will have an edge heading to the series. But again,
yeah,
you never know. Yeah,
I think we will miss Chris Wokes. That's the main thing. It is so important in England to how England play, and for him to be injured and not be able to play regularly at the moment is quite concerning, especially with Ben Stokes out. And then we've got Jofra Archer injured, so he won't be playing. And we've got injuries to key players.
exactly. I mean, India's, as you well said, well quoted that line where you said India have to bat well. I mean, Pujara, Rahane, this might be their last series. That may be surprising for you all, but if they don't do well, they can make way for the youngsters. So well said by Daz there regarding the batting lineup of India. So we will be trying to call Daz again to our show in between the series or after the end of the series, because he's absolutely a genius when it comes to discuss cricket, especially knows a lot about England cricket, and we both will be following together. Okay, tell me one thing. Who are the new England players India should look at, or the world should be looking at, especially the spinners? Who are the new spinning sensations? Is there anyone in your mind? Because I think England lack in the department heading to the World T20. And any new all rounders after Ben Stokes, because they have recently added Overton, I guess, in place of Stokesy. So, what do you have to say about the new players and who can replace Burns? Sibley? Of course, they're doing well, but
Yeah.
is there any concern in that English lineup?
The main concern is with the fast bowling, I guess. But Robinson, who came and he did really well against New Zealand, is going to be there.
Yeah,
And, he had a great game, and I think he's going to turn out to be a really good player. Sam Curran is obviously the all-rounder now, probably, who won't take over from Stokes. He's got some really amazing potential. The spinners, Leach and Best. But, Best, even though Best got some wickets in the winter, he did struggle. But he needs to come back into some really good form now. But I think Leach is the main spinner for the Test squad.
so you are seeing Leach in that World T20 playing 11?
In the T20, no, probably Dion Rashid,
I
obviously, like
Yeah,
normal. Matt Parkinson can come through.
yeah, exactly. A very good prospect. Yeah,
And then we've got a guy called Danny Briggs, who I really rate in T20 as well, who I hope actually gets to play again. But Saqib Mahmood looks like the one at the moment who's going to be next in line for the England team.
exactly. Okay, so I want to ask out of the box question. Do you see that England will field different playing 11 in the near future? Talking about since they're doing a lot of bio bubble work or a lot of changes in the side, or do you think there will be some players, or the teams will be similar in all three formats, or are you seeing a different England team in the
Uh,
near future?
yeah, I think mainly in white ball, England have got a totally different team to the red ball anyway, so that probably helps the team. But mainly the players who play in the ODI and the T20 squad are different from the Test. So, the players get to have more rest, so we'll see more settled teams. That's the difference between us and someone like Australia, where Australia have to rely on one team because they don't have the depth in the team.
Exactly. Okay, now tell me, tricky question maybe for you. What is the future of Joe Root? I'm asking Joe Root. You might be surprised, but Joe Root is not playing a lot of white ball cricket. Next question,
Yeah.
adding up to that, what is the future of James Anderson and Stuart Broad? I don't know about Stuart Broad, but is that Ashes in Australia the last thing for Jimmy Anderson, or the last hurrah for Jimmy Anderson?
For Joe Root, he's our best ever ODI player, I think. So it, he's not going to get into the T20 squad. He's mainly just going to be in the ODI and the Test team. But for Broad and Anderson, Broad won't still be around for 2 or 3 years yet. And Anderson, I think he won't play until next summer, and then maybe call it a day because we've got so many
Yeah,
good players coming through, and he's also doing a lot of commentary. So I think
yeah.
that's maybe where they won't go to next.
Okay. What are your chances for England doing well in that World T20 coming up in September?
I think it all depends on the spin. If Rashid and Moeen do well, then we can win the T20 World Cup. You know, most of the England players play in the IPL, so they're used to conditions in the UAE or India. So I think we've got a really good chance. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. What do you think
of
about
course.
India?
Look, I won't say anything because India is favorites in everything. But when it comes to the semi-finals and the finals, India just lose the plot as it is happening since last 8 9 years. So fingers crossed. Let us see if India can win or not. But again, of course, when you are playing at Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it's all your conditions. I mean, in UAE, it's absolutely your all conditions. Okay, so the Atul, Gamer, Vibor, Yakshit, Gaurav, Ahire, Shaksham, a lot of guys have joined us in the live chat. And there is a special mention of Sonak Manna, who is one of the England cricket team's fan. He's from India, but he is England cricket team's fan and he loves Stokes, Ben Stokes. So thank you, Sonak. And he also follows you, Daz. You might be knowing Sonak Manna. I don't know whether you can remind, but he's a 12-year-old kid and he is a big fan of you also. So he told me to pass this message to you.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Now moving on, Daz. Last, I will be asking you the last question. Then I will be having just two, three discussions, some light topics. So my last question, serious question on cricket. Do you think the current powerhouses in all three formats is India and England in the world cricket because of their bench strength, or do you think other teams can edge India and England? And what do you
I think
think about? Yeah, go ahead.
I think New Zealand are much closer now. You know, New Zealand are doing really well, and I actually think Pakistan are improving as well. I think they're the main two to compete with it, India and England. But I'm not sure about Australia. Australia are in Test matches, but I'm not sure about the ODI and the T20 at the moment.
Exactly, and especially Ashes coming up, England versus Australia. So you want England to do well there also. Okay, Daz. Now some light topics, some you can say rapid fires. Okay, so you will be answering in just 5 10 seconds quickly. Hope you enjoy this session. Your favorite cricketer?
Favorite public figure?
Your favorite cricketer?
Or favorite cricketer? Johnny Bairstow. Yeah.
Okay, in all three formats, all-time favorite?
AB de Villiers.
Okay, you one of your favorite cricketing memories and one of your worst cricketing memories, like which best memories and worst memories when England is winning or England is losing?
My favorite cricket memory was the 2005 Ashes. My worst cricket memory was losing 5-0 to Australia in Australia.
So you are a big Test match fan. This shows that you are a big Test match fan. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's very good.
Also, one of a bad memory was Ben Stokes against West Indies and India in the T20 World Cup final. So, Brathwaite.
Carlos
Yeah,
Brathwaite. Yeah. Oh, that was terrible. But you need to give credit to Stokesy, the way he came back from that. I mean, and doing well in the 2019 World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think that changed his career around. It became much better for it. So it was a learning point.
Exactly. Okay. What do you love about India apart from cricket?
Food.
Food.
And
Okay,
the
which
people.
is
I like people from India.
okay. Thank you so
The
much. That means you like me.
I do, yeah. You're a great guy. So,
Okay, which kind of food do you like in India?
chicken tikka, I've eaten
Okay,
before in England. Lamb rogan, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's a great choice. Okay, we have got a question from a viewer. Who will be the finisher for India? So, who do you think will be the finisher for India in the white ball format? That's what's your opinion on that?
Finisher for India. Oh, tough question.
Yeah,
Who do
because
you
after
think?
MS, look, for me, after MS, I am not seeing anyone of that level, but I think there are a lot of guys, to be honest, but it's all about adaptation. I mean, there are many players who can take game close, but only few have that ability to finish the game till last ball. That's why Josh Butler once said about MS the same thing. And I think Rishabh Pant has that capability, even Hardik
Yeah.
Pandya, but they have a long way to go.
But I
That's a
don't think
great
anybody can.
question.
I don't think anybody can come close to MS Dhoni. But I do think Pant can have a similar career.
Yeah,
I also
exactly.
I also I also like Sky. He's a really good player. He's so exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Okay, who will play the T20 World Cup final? This question is being asked by Atul Baral.
Um,
I am guessing the answer India versus England, but please be honest.
England, England v West Indies.
Okay. So you are again saying that India will be knocked out in the semis.
England v West Indies, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was an England v India final.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's great. Okay, any plans of coming to India in the near future? You want to visit India? I will be loving to host you.
Yeah, I was actually going to come to India for the World Cup this year, but
Really?
obviously, yeah, I was going to come, but I can't come now due to COVID and stuff like that. But hopefully that I can come to the IPL next year.
Yeah, most welcome, man. We'll be there to host your whole front foot team. Saksham, Gaurav Ahire, Yakshit Kotian, Arnab. Let me tell you, there is a kid in our group who is just 12 years old, like Sonak, Arnab. His name is Arnab. He is doing a fantastic job. I will be sending you his videos. I will be inviting you to his channel again one day if you find time, and you are going to love that show. So,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
now okay. So now just tell us your final words. How has been this last 30 minutes in our show? Did you enjoy the show and your final thoughts on our channel about our show?
yeah. I really love the show. It's nice to be nice to talk about cricket with India fans, and you're really great guys, and I look forward to a great series, and may the best winner win. So.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Daz. I will be sharing the Twitter link of Daz in our description. You need to follow. Okay, Lucas is here. Hi, Lucas. Love this Daz interview. And of course, you must be knowing Lucas also. Lucas is a fantastic and a fabulous guy, and he also knows a lot about cricket. Thank you, Lucas, for coming to the live stream.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
yeah, so guys, do share, subscribe to the channel, and do follow Daz. Daz has a great knowledge in cricket, and he's there to share his thoughts always on cricket. A very passionate England fan, Johnny based fan. So that's it for this, guys. We'll be soon again inviting Dash to our channel. Till then, like, share, and subscribe the channel. Goodbye and enjoy your day. Be safe. Thank you all.
You
Thank
too.
you,
Thank
Daz,
you.
again.
Bye.